I am Nadine May. As you can hear, I'm from Holland. So I'm talking today about the language of light and how it affects our DNA, because we are what our DNA is programmed with. I have created a formula that works for me when you talk about awakening. We are all already perfect spiritual beings, but we're having a human experience, and that's a whole different ballgame. How do we awaken back to that full consciousness? Because that's what I'm about. Full consciousness, ascension. That's my topic. So I had to write this into a story way that people could relate to in the characters in their lives. And why do we create the relationships that we do? I'll go back to the formula that I learned, and my information for the novels comes to me when I need it the most. I tell you, I'm hoping to finish my 4th novel at the end of this year. It's the most difficult journey. It's the 3rd level of our awakening, and our planet is in that moment on that level. And you'll recognize it when you see the videos. Turbulence, problems, and it is with everybody else have those turbulence, because you have to go through it. Manifesting the design of your reality is knowing the 5 stages we go through in order to manifest. Very handy to know in this planet. And the novels are written on the same formula, and the workbooks are the tools that my characters have used in the novels. First is Ingrid's journal, The Awakening Level 1. She describes why her awakening has an effect on her body cells, and why the DNA language of light, the coding symbols, affects the relationships she attracts in her life. Very nice to know. 2nd level. The Astral Explorer and the Cosmic Traveler, Level 2, describes how ancient text and awakens his genetic cellular remote about the times when he knew where he really came from. 3rd journal, Vanishing Worlds, describe how your body codes of light, when decoded through the language of light, affects our health, well-being, and our transformation. That is my main topic here, and it is also the journal that I'm writing at the moment, and it's called Vanishing Worlds. And this world, believe you me, is going to vanish. I mean the reality of it. Lisbeth's book, I have already started to get information for the other novel, and it's Parallel Realities. I will not talk much about it. I'll touch on it in the end. It's very exciting, but I have to first finish the 3rd level, because that's where I'm at as well. And reading the novels through working with the workbooks gives my easy guidance to the ascension process, and fiction is often truer than fact. I'll take you through these 5 stages because you can relate it to your own life, in your business, in your relationship, in everything. 1st level, you have to question why you're on this planet. You have to have this wanting to know. You have to have a desire to want to know. You have to have a desire to like a perfect relationship. You have to have a desire to become healthy. First idea. If you want to bake a cake, you have to know what cake to bake. If you don't, what are you going to bake? 1st stage of an awakening and of manifesting. You have to know what you want to manifest. 1st level. 2nd level is you have to gather the information of your 1st level. If you want to bake a cake, you need the recipe. If you want to get the right relationship, you have to know what actually you want from a relationship. You will learn that whatever you want in a relationship, you have to actually give to someone else as well, because how can you attract what you haven't got? So that is, of course, the 2nd level. And very often in our lives, that is reflected by education. If you take about our life cycle, 2nd level, if I write about it in 2 books, and it's the Astral Explorer and the Cosmic Traveler. Richard thinks, and he's an Egyptologist, so I had to do a lot of research experience, and that's the 2nd level. 3rd level is where we are now. The 3rd level is that we put the information and the idea together and we live it out. Many people grow old and they become 60, 70, 80, and they don't go past the 4th level. Some do, but in today and age, we all have to move on. This is the generation that has to move on. This is evolution. And that's why the 3rd level is so turbulent, because it's a bit like, compared to a Coca-Cola bottle. What happens if you shake it and you take the lid off? can all imagine what happens. This is the time we live in. Individually, globally. Whatever happens on the planet is the right way. The oil spill, everything else. It's pretty awful, but it is waking people up. And if that's what it does, marvelous. Fourth level, the best level to be in. Some of us go in and out. It's the aha moment level. You start to bypass the monkey mind. You're starting to bypass the mental chatter. You see, we have the higher self and the lower self, and most of you know that, but to bypass the mind, and this is the trick, the energy field around us is translated by our brain, our organic computer. Then the mind takes the translation and puts it into words. That's the easiest way I can explain it. So our energy field around us on every moment is translated by our brain. And of course that is put into our cellular memory. That is what we program ourselves with. And I'll show you through the slides how that works. And I will back you up with some scientists that discover the same thing. The fifth level, of course, is freedom. That's where the ascension process actually starts. It's not starting before that. It's starting at the fifth level. And yes, we are not suddenly stuck in all these levels. Of course we're not. Sometimes some people have amazing experiences in the fifth level, but they have to actually clean up their act and have to even go to all the others. And we've all been there. We've all had occasionally those experiences. My first psychic I was in the 20s. It probably was around this area, but of course I couldn't cope with that because I hadn't dealt with any of this. And this is what happened to many people. When they have a special experience, they suddenly want to know, they get motivated because that first idea is suddenly fired up. But then they have to go through all the experience of learning. Can you see it all in your own life, how this takes on? And it is with everybody the same. We are all the same that way. Fifth level, of course, is where the ascension starts. Then we bypass the brain. We're now becoming the masters of our universe, and we move, and I love pictures. I like pictures tell more than words sometimes, and then the ascension starts. These are the books: The Awakening Clan, The Astral Traveler, Vanishing World, third stage, Parallel Reality, fourth stage, fifth stage, The Prophet's Game. The Prophet's Game is, of course, our life's game. Got the video. You all know her? Marianne Williamson, wonderful author.
There is no way for us to lay claim to the possibility of a planet which has taken a quantum leap forward unless we are willing to lay claim to the possibility of our own individual selves having taken a quantum leap forward.
Amazing speaker. Now, of course, we all heard about this awakening in a split of a moment, and we are living during the times when that is going to happen. It's happening already. Marianne Williamson is one of the authors. There are many authors, and I've actually, on this PowerPoint, I have presented Greg Braden and, of course, Bruce Lipton, because he's an amazing author about the genetics. And what Marianne says as well, we're living in a time when it's going to happen. We're going to all wake up. It is a wonderful time to live in. But yes, it's turbulence, it's the economy, it's all this, but this is meant to be. We were all chosen to be around this time, to go through this, to actually evolve the human species into a higher consciousness.
In recorded human history, we can say that the fate of our entire species rests upon the choices of a single generation.
We will take a quantum leap forward first in our own individual lives, and out of that, I think we can together form a field. Social scientists say that field doesn't have to be any more than 11%.
So what can we, each of us, how can we make a difference?